So basically I started very young. I come from a cricketing family. My dad and uncle and older brother play club cricket from the village that I come from. But I started young, so watching my dad play and uncle play on a Saturday, I was about from the age of 6 onwards. I used to pester and badger every person to throw balls at me. So I don't know if it was an innate love of cricket in me or whether my dad just sort of nicely pushed me into cricket. But that's where it really stemmed from. So I'm originally from Cambridge in the UK. Started playing county cricket for them, and then scored some runs and showed some potential. And then Essex County Cricket Club got involved and got me onto the academy. And ever since there, from the age of sort of 13, I've played sort of every representative level. So England 15s, 19s, getting a professional contract with Essex when I was 17, breaking into the first team, and then the last sort of five years being involved with the England A team, and then 18 months ago playing Test cricket against South Africa and England. So that's the sort of the rise. I think in terms of our academy, obviously I'm going to be quite biased, but I think we've probably got one of the best academies in the country in terms of, from a statistical point of view, in terms of players that have come through the academy system. Alistair Cook's the pinnacle. He's obviously been through the ranks, but we generally produce probably each year maybe 1 or 2 professional cricketers through the academy. Not all of them go on and have a long career in county cricket, but we have got. We do fantastically well in terms of the numbers that attain county contracts. But then obviously it depends on yourself or how good you are, your drive and all those sort of other factors, whether you obviously keep getting county contracts and hopefully do well for the county. I think at every level that you step up, there's always an increased intensity. 'Cause quite often the standard isn't necessarily miles better. It's almost how you perceive it in your own mind. So, when so some of the guys that are training here with me now, like Billy Godderman and Dan Lawrence, we've all played sort of second team cricket at a young age. And, it seems quite a big step up playing second level professional cricket, but actually it's no real better than the bowlers you face in the academy. And likewise, when you step up into the first team for your county, you'd faced a lot of the bowlers in the second team circuit. So there's probably just a bit more scrutiny, there's a lot more intensity, and there's obviously a lot more need to score runs. It's your profession, it's your job. So our currency is runs, and you can't shy away from the fact that if you don't score those runs, you don't get picked, and that's obviously at international level that's exposed even greater. You don't score runs for 2 or 3 test matches and your place is in question. Whereas I think if you've got the money, the runs in the bank at county level, if you've scored for a long period of time, your leeway to do poorly is a lot greater. But so the scrutiny on trying to put out your best performance every single time just increases as you go up the ladder. Cookie's first and foremost, he's like a champion of a bloke. He's a lovely guy. I've played at Essex with him for a number of years now. It's a strange one because obviously all the records and the statistics show that he should be so much better on a day-to-day level than everyone else. But everyone, once they play at that level, are as talented as each other or have the capacity to score runs. But his is just on another level. You don't look at him and think he's more talented than a Dan Lawrence or a Ravi Vipara. But I think what stands out for me with him is his grit and determination, his self-belief that he's good enough and that he can score massive runs, but then back that up day in, day out. Some people will score 100, then they'll have a few weeks of not scoring any. Whereas if Cookie scores 100, there's every chance in the next 2 or 3 innings he'll get 2 or 3 more. It's just that innate desire to score runs and succeed. And I think that's what separates a lot of the very good players to the greats. Their capability of scoring a double 100 one day and then still having the desire and hunger to go out 3 days later and do the same thing again. He's also incredibly fit physically. But other than that, yeah, he's actually quite boring, I suppose. 2 tests against South Africa and 3 tests against the West Indies. Yeah, it wasn't the step up in standard that was a surprise, because when you play, I played South Africa a week before I played South Africa, and I played South Africa for England A. So you play them all. There is obviously just that extra scrutiny on you that you have to be. I think the better players are better at blocking it out. I mean, I felt that that's actually generally been a strength of mine, that you listen to the noise, you don't listen to the noise and the negativity, but ultimately it's about scoring runs. So I myself didn't score enough runs to stay in the team, and it's as ruthless as that. I don't think I would have done anything different in terms of my approach to playing Test cricket. I just wish that I would have scored more runs. So yeah, it's tough, but that's why it's the top level, and I believe that's why it's the hardest cricket. I think obviously playing international cricket, one days, T20s are challenging from watching. I haven't played it, but for me the pinnacle is Test cricket. Actually, so when I got dropped two seasons ago, so that's when it would have been, so 2000, end of 2017. No, I had correspondence with the selectors and the coaches, and it's not like a drop off. You don't drop off the face of the planet. I actually went on to England A tour the winter after I got dropped. So you're still in the mix. You still want to score runs and get back in. But then, unfortunately for me, we were in Australia with the A team. I broke my finger. That then took me out of the England A setup for 2-3 months. And, it was quite a major surgery on my finger. And then once the season starts again, it's sort of back to square one. It's those guys, in order to get your place back or put your name in with a shout of playing, it's pure volume of runs. And if you score those volume of runs, which I actually didn't at the start of this season, you're not really in contention. But I think that's rightfully so. Why should someone who has been dropped, averaging 25, still be in contention when he hasn't scored any runs at the start of our English season? I think it's right that people that are scoring runs in Division 1, Division 2 of the County Championship, they should be the ones that are spoken about. And I think that's leads to a little bit the turnover of the players in the last few years at England. Certain people haven't been able to cement their spot, but other people have been scoring runs in county cricket, so therefore they step up. I don't think inspiring is not the word, because actually, even though I'm an England boy, I'm an England fan, I always want England to win, and I think if you're from whichever country you're from, you should want your national team to win every single Test match. But I think it does lend itself to, there are potential spots up for grab, but they're only going to be up for grab if you score the runs. So I think it's obviously not a nice position for England to be in the sense that they've just lost those 2 Test matches. But 8 months ago they just beat India, they just beat Sri Lanka away. So it just shows you how fickle and quickly things can change. But I think it opens itself for opportunity for a lot of young batters and batters that are a little bit older, like myself. So I'm turning 30 this season. Obviously, Joe Denny's just made his debut at 32. So I think those guys that put their hands up at the start of the county season, try and score 300-400s in the first couple of months, they're going to be spoken about for playing for England. I think that's quite a positive position for English cricket. Yeah, no, it's literally like it's a dream come true. That is literally what you. For me personally, growing up, that's what you dream of. You dream of playing for your country, getting your Test cap, which was presented to me by Graham Gooch, which was nice because he's obviously an Essex and England legend. Yeah, the family are absolutely delighted. Like my dad's like a big cricket fan, and is my mum. So yeah, they were chuffed and over the moon. Like our family members from abroad fly over. So yeah, it's a very humbling experience. Hopefully one that I get to do again. It's a good question. Well, I don't know because I've never come back in yet. But there's not much. I don't think you can. I don't know if I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. It's tough to prepare for something that you've never if you've never played that level, it's hard to then prepare to play that level. I think you just have to go about your business. So personally for me, I think you have to go about your business, your preparation, try and replicate what you do at a county level that's given you success, but also maybe just add 5-10% on to whatever you do. If your practice is X or Y, just increase it by just 5-10%, just so you feel like you're ticking all the boxes when you make that step up, because it is a little bit into the unknown, and I think by just going a little bit above and beyond, you're preparing yourself just a little bit better than what you would have prepared for at the step below. I think I was last night. To be fair, it's all a little bit of a blur. So the debut was against South Africa at the Oval, and it was, a sellout of 27,000 people. I would not even be able to tell you how I got off the mark, which is alarming. There's only a few. Like one specific shot that stays in my head is when I got 50 in the second innings and I hit Morne Morkel through mid-wicket, which is a strength of mine off my legs, and that's one of the clear things that sticks with me. That's it. Yeah, I'm not the best. Also, you speak to some people that can recall when they got 50 on their 30-second first-class game. I can't. I can remember the hundreds, but I can't remember specific shots or balls, or I'm quite bad like that. It's a tough one because, like, my high score was I got 254 against Worcester, and I think I would have got a triple century if my captain Ryan Tenskar didn't run me out. So I'm a bit bitter about that. But I think the best innings are the ones where you contribute to, winning games. So there was a couple of years ago getting like hundreds in the second innings in run chases, because it's generally harder to bat, and the scores and stats suggest it's obviously harder to bat in the second innings and the scores are lower. So getting a couple of 100 at Guildford against Surrey 2 years ago was quite an important innings for me, because that was also coincided with me scoring runs and then getting selected for England. So the timing of everything worked out quite well. To be fair, every innings is a challenge. It's all difficult. I don't find, like, some people it just comes easy to, but I think scoring runs is hard work. There's been a couple of times playing abroad, obviously when you're in conditions that that you're not familiar to. I went on an A tour to Sri Lanka, and the wickets were quite challenging. They spun a lot, and they're relentless with their spin bowlers. They sometimes open with spin, or 4 out of their 5 main bowlers are spin bowlers, which lends itself to challenges. But generally, when you face top quality bowlers in England, the likes of like Carl Abbott, Morne Morkel, Dale Staines obviously been over there. I'm not just meaning to name South Africans, but every team. The top bowlers. Yeah, but the top bowlers, yeah, and especially playing in Division 1, which Essex have done for the last few years. It is challenging, especially, and we play a lot of cricket in April when it's still 12 to 15 degrees and colder sometimes, and the wickets are spicy or green, and they do quite a lot. So yeah, just whenever you come up against a top quality bowler in those conditions, it's always going to be a huge challenge. Hopefully just try and get through it. I think that you have to have an element of your work ethic. Like, you have to work hard. It's with anything, I think, in life. If you want to achieve good results, you have to put in the work. You can't just say you want to do this or say you want to do that without actually putting in the legwork. But I think one big thing for me, two big things growing up when I was sort of 12 to becoming a professional, was it's very easy when you're young to look what other people are doing. So it's a professional sport or competitive sport. You're always comparing yourself to other people. So I grew up with Billy over there, played England 19s with him growing up, and you always want to score more runs than him or score more runs than the next person. But actually, if you can get out of the habit of looking at what other people are doing and focusing on yourself, quite often you do better yourself. And the other thing I'd say is, like, there has to be an element of accepting, like, failure. It's as being a batsman, like, the best batsmen in the world fail every like, about 50% of the time, and they're the very best. So I think if you can come to terms with that, actually you're not going to get it right every single day, but you can be a consistent level-headed person, I think that will go a long way, rather than the wasted energy of beating yourself up if you don't score runs. You know, the best player in the world fail 50+% of the time. So they'd probably be the little things that I would have focused on a little bit earlier, quicker, if I did it all again. So actually, it's an interesting question, because I think coming out of international cricket 18 months ago, this season in particular, in the start of it, I was a bit aloof. Do you know what I mean? You work your whole career to the playing for your country, and then it obviously gets taken away, and sometimes you just feel a little bit, not lost is probably the wrong word, but maybe a little bit lacking motivation. So I'm actually, and towards the back end of the year, sort of, I addressed that. You know, I actually sat down. I was like, why do I play cricket? It's, you know, you play cricket because I love it. It's love scoring runs, love scoring hundreds, just even like feeling middling a cricket ball, and you're with your friends, change room. So it made me sort of refocus a little bit. So this summer coming, this English summer, you know, I'm really looking forward to just enjoying my cricket and trying to contribute to Essex wins. I think it's very easy to get caught up with wanting to do this, wanting to play for England, but actually that'll only happen if I score runs at Essex. And also, I think approaching 30, or being 30 literally next week, you know, I think sometimes we take for granted what we do for a living. Like, it's the best job in the world. Like, it's not even a job. I remember Dad saying to me when I was young, like, the day that you actually do start viewing it as a job is the day that you should probably stop. And I actually think he's spot on with that, because it's a hobby and we get paid to do it at the end of the day. So
don't tell them that.
No, yeah. So actually, by having a big goal, even though I'm not a huge goal setter, is actually just to have longevity in this game. I think is amazing. You know, you get to act like a child pretty much 66% of the time in the changing room, up until the age of, up until the age of like late 30s. So if I can get to 36, 37, 38 and on, if potentially, then I think that in itself is an achievement. So, but in order to do that, you know, having to look after my body, making sure I'm not getting injuries. So that's a bit more of a focus now as I get a little bit older.